Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's training, Backlinks that Build Business, How to Boost Visibility, Credibility, and Clients. I'm Rebecca Chauncey, Interim Director at the Illinois Small Business Development Center, or SBDC at Bronzeville. Pleased to co-host today's event with the Illinois SBDC at Greater Englewood. And we're really happy to have you all join us for this important topic that I have a feeling many of you are not aware of, or maybe you've heard about it, but today's speaker is amazing and she has a way of making the topic very relatable. She's relatable and full of valuable knowledge that will help you to understand how you can really make a difference in your business with backlinks. Couple of housekeeping notes before I introduce today's speaker. This first, I want to let you know that the training is provided to you at no cost because it's funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the United States Small Business Administration, or the US SBA, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, Urban Juncture Foundation, and Greater Englewood CDC. If you have questions today, please type them in the Q&A section. That will help us to keep track of those. If relevant in the moment, then our speaker will address the questions, and then there will also be time at the end of the presentation for Q&A. But for real-time responses, you'll hear our speaker ask questions throughout the training. Type those quick responses in the chat. We want this to remain very engaging, and your participation is greatly appreciated. So I am pleased to introduce to you our speaker. Stephanie Magnus is a visibility and public image strategist who helps service-based entrepreneurs look credible, get seen, and get chosen. She builds digital identities that raise trust and make businesses easier to find and easier to believe. Stephanie teaches simple steps that turn quiet experts into recognized authorities. Her work has been featured across major platforms, and her sessions give honest guidance, clear direction, and real results for anyone ready to strengthen their presence and grow. Without further ado, I am passing the mic on to Stephanie Magnus.
Well, you made me sound good. Thank you. But I say, who's she talking about, right?
It's you.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, and thank you all for attending this session. This is one of the most passionate topics I like to talk about because of the not knowing factor. My grandmother always used to say, people don't know what they don't know, right? And so sometimes not knowing could really possibly hurt your business in a way that you probably didn't know, right? And so one of the ways that people don't realize is like the power of backlinks. And so thank you all for having me for this session to talk about backlinks because by the time you're finished with this, I think you're going to have a clear understanding and you may be starting to work today on working on backlinks. I'm not going to introduce myself because she did a wonderful job doing it. But again, just welcome. So like she says, I try to do like very engaging, entertaining kind of workshops so you can really understand. And I want it to be a two-way conversation. So at any point, you can use the raise your hand features, or the lovely people on the right with the Illinois SBDC can also assist in getting your questions answered. So I want you to think about this. When people search your name, whether if you're own personal brand or your business brand, you're either going to show up like Elsa from Frozen, you're going to make a grand entrance, or you're going to show up like a missing item toy in Toy Story. So think about that. How do you want people, when they search your name or your business name, how are you going to show up? So think about the analogy a little bit. But today we're going to make sure that you shine like the main character, especially in your niche, in your industry. What you're going to learn today is what backlinks are and why they matter, how to earn quality backlinks through media, partnerships, and directories, mistakes to avoid that may be hurting your rankings on Google. And that I'm better give you that Disney magic tools that's going to help you, right? So just like Disney, a wonderful place about magic, there are some magic tools that you can use today that's going to help you in this journey. So people probably are asking, what are backlinks, right? So backlinks is simply another site pointing to you. So it's like me pointing to you. We're pointing to each other. Think of it like when the seven dwarfs hype up Snow White, right? Everyone trusts her more because the other vouched for her. You got seven people vouching for you, right? That makes you more legit than somebody else, right? So that's basically a backlink. Somebody's pointing to you. Somebody's pointing directly to you, whether it's going to point to your website, your social media, your LinkedIn, whatever it is. That's what a backlink is. Somebody's pointing to you. So why does backlinks matter? So before I get into this, let me go back to the previous thing and get some feedback from the audience. So how many of you all, and I want you to put a 1 in the chat, how many of you all refer people, right, on social media? And when you refer people, do you put their website or do you tag them in the post? So let me know if you do this. So how many of you all currently, you may see somebody on social media and say, hey, does somebody know an accountant? Do you tag somebody or you put somebody's website in there? I would like to know who's currently doing this. And just kind of put a 1 in the chat if you're currently doing this. Okay. Because a lot of times we're already doing it for other people. We're just not doing it for ourselves. That's why I asked that question. I want to know how many of you all do it for other people that when you're giving referrals, you're actually being one of the seven dwarfs. You're pointing to that person. So I want you to start doing it in reverse and be that person that people point to. So again, why does backlinks matter, right? Backlinks can help on a lot of different things. It makes Google trust you. I'm gonna get a little bit more about Google later, but it makes people trust you. Quoted pick you. Now I want to talk about a little bit about that. Podcasts can book you, reporters call you, right? I want you to become the Simba of Pride Rock, right? Think about Simba. He's on the Pride Rock and he's visible, he's seen, and he's chosen. Remember, they chose him to be king, right? They looked at him and said, hey, they looked at him, right? Even though when he was not confident in himself, he got that confidence, right? So I want you to be visible. I want you to stand out and be noticed. I want you to be seen, recognized for who you are, and be chosen, selected to lead and inspire, right? When it's a crowded market space, right? How do people know you're the best of the best, right? And you do this, one of the ways you can do it, and like I said, I was telling the ladies earlier, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know, that saying is a little weird, but you get what I'm saying. So there's other ways to do it. I'm just giving you one way, a surefire way that you can do this in 30 days with no skill, no training. If you just follow some of the steps I give you, you're gonna master this. Okay. Make sure that's the right thing. So backlinks and credibility. Beyond being simple links, backlinks are powerful signals to search engines about the trustworthiness and authority of your website. They are fundamental to boost your SEO strategy, right? So I call it trust signals. So you'll hear me a lot saying trust signals, authority signals. So these are basically like editorial votes from other reputable sites telling search engines your content is valuable and credible. So when a person puts you on their platform, they're basically vouching for you, right? They're saying, hey, this is an expert, this is a good business. So basically that builds trust, but it also tells their audience that this is somebody that they're recommending, especially if it's a top 1, 2, or 3 tier media outlet or a top 2 blog or something like that. They have a lot of followers. People know their reputation. So again, if you're into like party planning, if you have a party planning business and on Martha Stewart online, they mention you and your business, that is a signal, trust, and authority because people trust Martha Stewart, right? They trust her for design, home decor, cooking, things like that. So that means if she puts you on her site, she's telling her audience that she basically vouched for you, right? And people respect Martha Stewart. So if she puts you on there, then you start to get the respect from her followers. It boosts search rankings. High quality backlinks significantly improve your website's domain authority, helping your pages rank higher in search results. So what does that mean, right? What I mean by high quality, there's different type of backlinks, right? You know, the quality depends on the media, the outlet that you're in, right? How they rank, how many, and that's determined about how many views they get on their platform, engagement, subscribers, things like that. That makes an outlet kind of a high quality outlet versus a blog that may only have 200, not even that viewers. So a high quality one is also been around for a long time. Is usually name recognition along with that, like Martha Stewart, Oprah, Rachel Ray, Sports Illustrated, things like that. So you know that they're going to be a high quality lead. It will drive organic traffic. So let me ask you a question before we dive into that. I want to get a sense. So I'm gonna kind of mix it up in this time. I want you to put me in the chat if you currently monitor your website analytics. It'll help me engage this. So a little bit as I'm talking about organic traffic. How many of you currently look at your website analytics? Put me in the chat if you currently do it. I'm also going to participate. I look at mine all the time. And that's fine if you don't. This is going to encourage you by the end of this presentation to do it more regularly. Let me ask you a question before I get that. So those who did not answer, put a 3 in the chat if you don't know how to check your website analytics. Let's rephrase that a little bit. Put a 3 in the chat if you do not know how to do it yourself. Maybe I should have asked that question first. A lot of people don't know how to check their website analytics, and that's fine.
The threes are coming through.
Y'all see it. All right. That's what, so let me rephrase the question. So a lot of times people don't know how to. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. But this kind of helps me engage how I continue with the presentation. So yes, so it drives organic traffic, right? Enhanced visibility from better rankings translate directly into more organic, qualified visitors discovered to your site. So if you're looking at your website analytics, you should be able to tell where people are coming from to your website, right? That's like where you have a party and you send out an invitation, right? And you use one of these RSVP sites. You do that so you want to know who's coming and who they bringing, right? Or where they coming from and things like that. That's similar to doing that, right? That's similar to doing that. So think about that. It's like, think about a party and you want to know where people are coming from, where they RSVPing from, things like that. So that's kind of similar to what you would do in your website traffic. Backlinks and credibility is the fairy godmother moment. This is your fairy godmother moment. One good feature can turn you from Cinderella sweeping that floor to Cinderella at the ball. The same person, different visibility. Think about that. So we got 2 types of Cinderella. We have one that's stuck in the house, cleaning the floor, prepping for the ball. The other one is getting invited to the ball. Different visibility. I want you to think about what visibility you want, right? So you want to be the one that's just still sitting there waiting to get invited, or you want to be the one that has the fairy godmother who gets you all dressed up, ready to go to the ball to meet your Prince Charming or your Prince Charming, your princess or your Prince Charming. Okay. Types of backlinks. This is where people always ask me. Now you got a better understanding of what backlinks are. How do you get it with some types of backlinks? So I'm going to give you 8. There's a lot more of that in reference of time. I'm just going to stick to 8, right? So 1 is media features, right? So how many of you all, and you can unmute yourself at any point of this, how many of you all have got media features? I'm going to wait. And you can just put a me in the chat, or can unmute yourself and share. How many of you all have gotten media features? Okay. Okay. So think about, so other ones is podcast interviews, right? A lot of times people don't know that can give you backlinks, quotes, whether, and quotes is a little bit, it's a little usual because you can be quoted in a variety of different kind of ways. You can be, there's sites called like Everyday Power, or there's sites that have quotes on there that people kind of take those quotes and kind of make it into like a social media post or expert posts. Under expert posts, it can also be considered like op-eds, letters to the editor, things like that, blogs, directories. I'm going to talk a little bit about directories. A lot of people always get stuck on that. Like, what do you mean by directories? I'm going to talk about that a little later. Something to think about: local news and community highlights. Community highlights could be anything. It could be you sponsored a little league game, or um, maybe you assisted with a coat drive. Those considered like community highlights. And they usually typically will put you on their website, things like that. They'll say Raymond, him and his team company help with collecting socks for the homeless, and then they'll say, check Raymond out and the work that he does in the community. That's kind of what that mean by community highlights. Okay. Systems that get you backlinks really fast as far as like media, right? These tools are your Disney sidekicks, your Olaf, your Mushu, your Genie, right? These are your magic things. So we're going to start first with media, right? Because the media is the surefire way to get backlinks faster than anything else, because reporters be on deadlines. They want to be the first one to report on news or trends. So it kind of work faster than, say, an op-ed piece. They'll post it, unless it's tagged to a trend that's going on or something on the news. That could take a minute to post. Usually, an op-ed piece or a letter to the editor will post after an issue or after something else. So, but I want you to think about these 4 tools. And again, this is just simple 4 tools that I think is easy to maneuver, that you can sign up for. There are a lot of other tools, but we're going to stick with these 4 right now as far as getting you backlinks through media. One is called Quoted. Quoted is where journalists ask for experts. You don't have to go pitching somebody or trying to figure out, oh, what I'm going to say in this email, or, oh, I don't want to, like, a lot of people have a hard time talking about themselves. They want to be humble. They don't know exactly what to say to land a pitch. With Quoted, you don't have to do all that. They're going to tell you exactly. It's not like throwing a dice and on a table and thinking you're going to get all sevens. That's not how this works. You're already going to know what the reporter is looking for. You're just going to just basically talk about the topic that they're looking for. Featured is another way. They're looking for short, expert answers that get quoted fast. You don't even have to do a pitch on this site. You will create your profile and then respond in a box to the question they're asking, and you can get quoted in that article, which is going to typically give you a backlink to your website. Help a reporter is another one. You reply, boom, you land a story. And then for podcasts, pitch podcasts is the directive showing who's waiting on guests. Any questions on this so far? Any questions? Let me ask you, if any of you all, here's another me in the chat. Has any of you all used any of these 4? Or if you haven't used any of these 4s, let me know what you have used. Because remember, there's other systems out there. Tell me what you have used. If you have pitched yourself to media, whether it's a press release or things like that, what have you used? Or have you used any of these? And you can just kind of put it in the chat and see where we are. So somebody said use Hero. Who said use Hero? Can you unmute yourself?
That's me.
Okay.
It's
So
Rebecca.
so can you tell us about your experience using Hero?
Sure. I just reached out to, this has been several years ago, but
Okay.
for my old business. And
Mm-hmm.
so I reached out to a reporter about the a feature she was working on related to wellness. So
Okay. And then how, can you tell how was the process for you? Was it easy? It was how did you how was the process? Did you as far as a new beginner using this, was it you think it was an easy process or it takes some time to get used to?
I would say it's easy, but I could also see or say that it takes some time to get used to because I could have kept I didn't keep build the momentum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used the platform the one time and it didn't go back, but I could see how in doing that it would make a difference.
And like I said, they had so they closed down about a year ago and they reopened and it's much user friendly now. To let you know
Aha,
that fact.
okay,
So yes.
okay.
So when she was saying she was using it, it was a little bit more difficult. But they had shut down and somebody had restarted it, and it's a much easier platform. Now you get a digest every day to your email. So it's a little bit more easier to use now than it was first started. So that's kind of great. So yes, so let's dive a little bit more into some of these. Okay, so this is quoted in action, right? This is one of my favorite. Now, let me just give you a little disclaimer. It looks pretty and everything like that, but it can be costly, right? Now, none of these things, there's a few things that are free. This one is a little bit free. They do have a free offer on this, whereas I think for free, you're only allowed to pitch 3 a month, unless it'll have like it'll say the no pitch credit needed. When you see those, at the bottom right, you see a request for a reporter. It says no pitch credit needed. The only downfall with those is that people who are subscribers get first dibs at responding. Other than that, that's it's really no disadvantage to that. It depends on your costs to it. Me, I'm an agency, so I have an agency account, so I have unlimited access because I have multiple clients that I use this site for. But for anybody else, it's kind of easy. So this is what it kind of looks like. I just wanted to kind of give you a screenshot. You'll see like there's several outlets out here already looking for people right now. Um, it's very simple. You'll see the media outlets, what their requests are. Is it an expert request or product request? Right. One is different. One is expert. If it's an expert request, it's typically for a service provider. You're providing a service. If it's a product, that means you may have clothing. You may a product. It could be lighting, it could be shoes, it could be books, things like that. Those typically are the product side of it. So you can see here that they're requesting some responses like Yahoo Life. So Yahoo Life, and I told you high quality, right? That would be like one of the high quality things. They're seeking people that test out pull-up bars, right? So if you're in a fitness thing and you have pull-up bars, they're asking you to send it and they're going to review it for you. That is gold if you have one of those things. Other than that, the other ones you see on here are expert. One, for instance, Spoon University is they looking for a subject matter expert to talk about espresso martini. They do an article on espresso martinis. If that's your lane, you would respond to that. And if you get quoted in that article, they will give full credit, your name, your business name, and a link. Now, some of them don't give a link because of their editorial policy. Forbes is really fishy on how they do this. But they will, so if they don't give you a backlink, they will still at least will tell you your name and business name that people can just basically Google you. So this is how quoted looks. It to me, it's easy and user friendly. You sign up and then you just click on opportunities and if you have the unlimited pitch power, you just send your pitch. Typically, you would set up a profile and then you would just respond directly. And then you can also communicate. There's a media directory in here, things like that. So this is quoted. The other one is featured, right? It's similar to Quoted, but it provides a stream way to connect with journalists and content creators. So basically, all you're doing is if you see here on the right hand side, you have questions. It tells you the publication outlet. I didn't sign in on this one. It will tell you your domain authority and your attribution. I'll talk about what that means later. And all you would do is this something. If this is a one you want to be part of, you just hit answer, and all you would do is just answer the question, and they will just quote you directly from that. It gives then they will give you that backlink, right? The domain authority means if you see like the domain authority is over 50 or 60, that means they are high ranking on Google. That's only what that means. So it's okay to get some smaller ones that may not have traction if you're just trying to build, make yourself look more critical, build your, I call it your brand resume. I kind of tell my clients to use a mixture of different things. And it's gonna make it's gonna make very sense how it works in a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of it. And the other ones, Hero, Pitch Podcast, things like that. So I gave you some different ones. Partnership backlinks. So that was media. Partnership backlinks is like when you're working with nonprofits, you teach something helpful, like I'm teaching you all, right? You saw in the beginning that she gave me credit for she had my business logo on there. You'll see towards the end of the presentation, she puts a way to contact me. That is a partnership backlink. You join a community event or you write a guest blog, right? There's a lot of people out there are looking for guest writers in their blog because they don't have the time to keep doing it. I guest blog on a lot of stuff. It's like 4 or 5 publications that I guest blog on because then it introduces me to their community. A lot of times they already built my clientele. So one thing about this is that I don't have to try to go and figure out who on social media is my targeted audience. And so if I found a guest blog that attracts business owners and they already have the following, why would I not write a guest article to be introduced into their audience? This is a surefire way to get you right in front of your audience. These are your line, care, circle of life backlinks.
Quick
Everything
question,
will,
Stephanie, pardon me. Just
mm-hmm.
on that point about the guest blogs, I'm happy to hear you say that there's still value in
Yes,
writing those
yes.
in despite the boom, or I guess not, yeah, it seems to be a steady growth in videos. Everything is short and
Mm-hmm.
short form videos, but you still recommend that guest blogs are
Oh,
written because there's value.
100%.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. That's a good question. 100% I recommend writing guest blogs because you're trying to build your authority and credibility as well, right? That's how you see people. I always tell people you go to Walmart. Walmart's a perfect example. And you get to that aisle where it's like 15 items are left or 12 items are left. And they have like I don't know, like this shelf. And on the shelf is products that says all these products on that shelf says as seen on TV. How many of you all have seen that? This is a perfect example why this works because then you can create your own virtual shelf and say as seen in, right? So I always give an example is I had a client, she's a home organizer. That means she comes in and cleans up your mess, right? We all sometimes need that. So if I'm looking for somebody that I need to come and clean up my mess, right? My garage looks like a total nightmare. How many of you all have that? Because I know I'm not the only one with a messy garage. So, but if I'm looking for somebody and I narrow down to 2 or 3 people, and I don't know which one, their pricing ranges are going to be the same, similar. They're local in my area. Their reviews are kind of okay, but I'm still stuck. But I see this one particular home organizer. She's been featured in Martha Stewart, HGTV, all these places. I'm more tend to go with her because to me it's like, wait a minute, she must be really good at what she does. She's been on Martha and HGTV, which is HGTV is where I live. If I'm a homeowner and I'm a home person and I'm into that stuff, and this person has been featured on HGTV, it's telling me that she knows what she's doing. I'm gonna at least have a consultation with her first and before I do everybody else. So that's how that works. That's why guest blogging is great because you get that credibility. You get to put that logo on your as seen on TV kind of moments, right? So when you're putting your post out on social media, you can, and you're talking to say about um, organizing ornaments for Christmas, you can then plug it and say, as seen on Martha Stewart. Like I talked about this on Martha Stewart. That becomes a gold line. So yes, to your answer, writing guest blogs still helps with your credibility, right? But also for that, a lot of people sometimes we get that brain fog, right? We don't know, we get stuck on what to post on social media. This will give you content. Like I need to post it. I don't know what to post. Well, I wrote a guest article on such and such. I can just use this as my social media moment for the week. So everything, remember I told you the last line of this, everything comes in full circle, right? So thanks for that question because yes, guest blogging still matters, especially where you blog. And I'm gonna tell you, even Oprah Magazine looks for contributors. Like most of your top tier are looking for contributors, and some of them even pay. If you got the goods, I think Oprah charges $1 a word for a blog article, for a contributing article. So you can also make money off of guest blogging too. But yes, definitely consider that. Did I answer your question fully?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So directory backlinks, right? These are the ones that are going to also point to your website, point to you, right? They're going to point to you. And that is, you know, your Google business profile, your Apple Connect, your Yelp, your BBB, which is the Better Business Bureau, your Trust Pilots, your industry associations. These are your Magic Kingdom interests. You know, if you've been to some of you've been to Disney, and they have the 2 lanes, right? And you stand in the long line, the hour line, and you seeing people they pay to get right up to the front. That is what you're doing as well, right? Think about that. If your name is not on the gate, no one can find you as well. So 2 different things you can think about here. So let me ask you a question. How many of you all have a Google business profile? Put a 1 in the chat if you have a Google business profile. If you don't, today is the day you should work on that because that's one of your trust signals. People always ask me, how do I get placed on the first page of Google when somebody's searching my services? One of the magic key steps today is that Google business profile. Okay. Apple Connect. How many of you all have heard of Apple Connect? Anybody has ever used Apple Connect or know what Apple Connect is? You can unmute yourself if anybody has ever used it or set one up for their business. Is anybody? So Apple Connect, let me tell you what you're missing out on. How many of you all, and I'm going to be one of the ones that tell you I do it. How many of you all pick up your phone and say, hey, Siri, find a pizza place near me? How many of you all do that? Put a 1 in the comment. How many of you all pick up Siri? How many of you all use Siri or what's it called when you have a Google phone? I forgot what it's called. When you talk to it, I forgot. I'm an Apple user, so it would be like Siri.
Gemini.
Okay, yeah. So yeah. So how many of you all do
Gemini.
that? Yeah. So you'll ask, you'll say, find a pizza place near me, or you're talking. That's what Apple Connect is. A lot of people don't know this. You can actually literally set up an Apple Connect account and list your business. So when people are on their phone and they're looking for somewhere near you, and you can also do it for Waze too. A lot of these direction apps. A lot of people don't know you can do that. So there's nothing you can do today. It's go to Apple. It's free. Go to Apple Connect, register your business, list your business, so that when somebody's on the phone and you have the best donut place in your area, somebody can literally say, find me a donut place near me, and you come up. Right? So Yelp is a great thing too, because once you on Yelp, people can click your website from there. Better Business Bureau, list your website, Trust Pilot, industry associations. I'm going to tell you something that's not on this site, on this presentation, but I'm going to tell you something really good. ChatGPT does it too. How many of you all use ChatGPT? Put 1 in the chat. I'm about to really blow your mind on this one. You can literally, if you're listed on these directories and stuff like that, people are using, The statistics are saying people are using ChatGPT 80% more than using Google. They're going to ChatGPT to ask questions more now than they do Google. But where is ChatGPT getting the information from? You're asking. They're getting it from Google, right? So you want to make sure that your everything your online presence, because when somebody's, you know, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I needed a new vet. My cat ear, my cat, I think he was having an ear infection. And first thing I did was I went to Chat GPT and says, what's going on with my cat's ear? It's like, I don't know if it's mites, people telling me it's all these different things. And I wanted something quickly and digestible, right? That I can go. I can go on Google, but some of us get lazy and use Chat GPT. And it told me that it may be a allergy thing, could be effective of allergy, things like that. So then it says, would you like me to recommend some vets in your area? I was like, wait a minute, what? ChatGPT did that, right? I said, sure. And guess what it did, you all? It gave me 3 or 4 veterinarians in my area on ChatGPT that specialize in cats. And where they pulling it from, they pulled it from Google. They pull it from online. So if you don't have an online presence, you could be missing out on ChatGPT moments. So definitely keep that in mind. This is why all this matters now. As we move into AI, AI is only getting the stuff from online. So if your information is not online, you're not going to be the one in ChatGPT reference or article. Sometimes it'll reference an article. And it'll say, hey, did Jasmine wrote this article and such and such, and it will give the citation to the article. But if you're not out there writing or getting yourself out there, Chat GPT or any other AI, Gemini AI or Open AI, is not going to be able to recommend you or recommend your article or post that you did if you don't do this. So this is why a lot of this is important. So I want you today, if you have not done any of these things, at least commit to doing 2 things before the end of the year. If you don't have any of these, that is your mission. If you choose to accept it, we hope you do. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a Google business profile in action. So if you don't have one, this is what it looks like. So if I Google a business, it typically will come up, right? This is a client of mine. This is an actual real client of mine. This is when I mentioned she's a home organizer, right? So she has a Google business profile. It has some reviews, she has 4 Google reviews, but it's 5-star. So that tells me a lot when I see this. Also, it has her hours. It has her websites. Remember, I told you backlinks. It now has the website there on the right-hand side. That's a backlink. So somebody can click your website from this. So it's another way of bringing people to home, bringing people to your house, right? Your reviews, your shares, and then you can also share it with other people. But here, this is a good opportunity of a backlink. So if you don't have your business, if I'm searching home organizers in my area, I should be able to see your Google business profile. And from there, click on your website. You do it all the time anyway. Think about it when you're looking for hotels in Bermuda, right? And then all of a sudden you look and then you click on it, says, and you go right to the website. Think about the things that you do as a consumer and then translate into your own business, right? So your Google business profile is often the first impression potential clients have of your business. So make sure it looks good. Make sure you have your map, pictures of your product, your work product. If you're a service based, maybe it's a picture of you, or you have a team, you're a plumbing company and you got 5 people. It should be you and your 5 employees. Invite people into your home. Optimizing is not only helps local search visibility, but it also provides a direct high authority backlink to your website. This is the most high authority backlink you can ever have is Google. So directories in action, Clutch. We talked about directories. Clutch is another one. If you're not, if you're a B2B service-based type of business, if you're not on Clutch, you're missing opportunity, right? So this is my Clutch account, right? So I'm on Clutch. I want to show you mine. And so again, you see visit website. Here's another backlink back to my website. So if people goes on to this is one of the lead platforms for service providers. So people can go on there and it gives you a strong profile that is it's a powerful directory with backlinks, boosting your credibility, visibility. So people looking for they can go to these directories and see, and then it also rank you, right? So as far as digital transformation, I'm ranked number 3 in digital transformation because what happens is Clutch does their own rankings, but they also verify you because they go through a verifiable process. It also verifies. So everybody who tries to get one of these profiles may not get it. It could be in your message, in your language. If you don't have a website, that's a surefire way you don't get into some of these directories. But again, the most valuable thing on here is visit my website. People can also join my network on here too. So my network links back to my LinkedIn or something like that. So this is another way I wanted to give you why directories are important because it links back to your website. You want to be able to, that is where deals are made, not on social media. Social media will introduce people, but people are still going to go to your website, right? And that's the whole goal is because that's where your sales are made. That's where your sales funnel begins. That's where your offer is your website. So you want to, all these different mechanisms, whether it's social media, marketing, all of it, it comes to one place, which is your home, which is your website. Just make sure before you do all this stuff that your home, you're ready to receive, right? You don't want people to go into a dark, abandoned home and the lights are off, right? You want to be like Howard Johnson. You know how Howard Johnson said lights are always on? That is what you want to be. You want your lights to always be on. So before you even do all this, let's take a step back. Before you do your business, Google Business Profile, your Apple Connect, if your website is not ready to receive, don't do this yet because you're going to miss out on an opportunity. And I'm going to give you a scenario a little later when I show you some things with how somebody missed out on an opportunity. But you want to make sure that before you do all this, you are ready to receive. And what does that mean? I know this is not off topic, but what does that mean, be ready to receive? You have your clear offers. A person should not leave your website without doing something, right? This is why the grocery stores take advantage of us. We didn't know that we need that pack of gum and them M&Ms until when we in line. That's how they train our brain. They make sure that we might only came in there for some toilet paper. We come out there with some candy. We be like, how did I get all this? Target does it really well. How did they call them second chance sales, right? They give you one more last chance to buy something before you leave the store. And it works very well because you know you didn't need that pack of gum when you was in that line, but you saw that with them M&Ms. So this is what your website is supposed to do. You should be ready to receive. And what does that mean? Give them some choices. Okay, I might not be ready to buy from Jasmine today. I might not be ready to buy from Rebecca today. But guess what? Maybe I'll join the newsletter. Maybe they have a freebie I can download. Maybe it's a coupon that I can save for later. Don't let them leave your website without picking one thing. If you only have one call to action or one thing on your website, you may be missing out on opportunities. So before you really start diving into this, make sure that's like you invite me to your house and I come over there and you're like, well, you can come in, but I don't have any chairs. I didn't go to the grocery store yesterday, so now I'm sitting there hungry and standing up, right? That's not welcoming to me. So I want you to think of that same thing when people come into your website. Be welcoming. Make sure that they leave with something. As Denzel Washington says, I'm leaving with something. You should be leaving with they should be leaving with something. Don't leave nothing on the table. Find a way. If you get their email, you can start building your funnel that way as well too. So make sure before you do any of this stuff, you make sure your house is in order. So case study, Tina. We talked about before. She's one of my clients, and she's a home organizer. I wanted you to kind of see. Stop, take a breath right now, and I want you to see how all of this so far is applying. And I want you to look at a real world example of a backlink impact, right? So Tina Presley, one of my clients, she's the owner of Ready Set Refresh, right? We transformed her online presence in less than a year. And so you kind of see, so she has 233 backlinks out there, right? 95 sites are linking to her websites, right? And so you give an example. So she was in Martha Stewart, and you can see the referring page on the right tells you where the platform came from, right? And the DR is the domain authority. That means everybody know Martha Stewart's it's going to rank high, right? She was in Vogue. She was in Kitchen. So she's gotten high ranked domain authorities, right? Her anchor target URL is how they pointed to her website. So basically, she was in this article. Martha Stewart did 7 holiday decor items you should not throw away. That you should throw away ASAP. I pitched Tina through one, I think it was quoted. She responded, I forwarded for her, and they mentioned her as this is how they referenced her in the article. Tina, professional organizer, CEO of Ready Set Refresh. Do you see the Ready Set Refresh in blue? That means that's a link. That's a backlink, and it backlinked to her website, right? Here again in Vogue. Vogue is 91. That means that's the highest authority you could probably get. Everybody knows Vogue, right? She did an article on how to organize a closet for maximum peace of mind. And this is how they quoted her in the article. It said, Tina, founder of a Virginia-based home decluttering company, Ready, Set, Refresh. Remember, it's in blue. So that means if I click that, it's going to go right to her website. And this is how they quoted her in there, right? Again, kitchen.com, right? 10 best ways to organize your kitchen. And they quoted her, Tina, a home at Reddit. So every time they said her name, her business name, there's a link that's going into her website. We have any questions on this? Anything you pointed out? You have any insights you want to give to this? Let me know. But I wanted you to see so far how this is working. Right? This is why it's a gold mine, because now there's right, it goes on because she's been in 233 outlets, but you can see from the 1, 2, 3, 5 here, she's already had 5 people, and these are high target people. Vogue basically told everybody that they're basically telling you she's a home decluttering expert. So Vogue is basically, when they put that in, because they basically vetted for her and they vouched for her. So you want that for your business as well. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Now we keep going. Give you a moment to look at it closely. Okay. So we talk about domain authority really quick. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Think of your domain score or your domain rating as your website reputation score in the eyes of search engines. And it's a metric, typically on a scale of 1 to 10, that predicts how well a website will rank on search engines, right? And I kind of gave you some places you can check your domain authority: Ahrefs, MOZ, SERPs, all those different places that you can check. They have a free option right now where you just go, if you go to any of their sites, it'll say put your website in there. It'll kind of rate your domain authority. The higher, so you want your score to be high. It takes a moment, right? It takes a moment to get 100%, right? You got to be around for a long time, right? Kellogg's got 100, their domain authority is high, but we all know Kellogg's through the cereal and the products they make. Higher score means your website is seen more authoritative and trustworthy. It also makes sure that you come on the first page of Google when I'm Googling stuff. It's influenced by the number and quality of backlinks pointing to your site. This score is crucial to Google to understand how much to trust your content. Google does look at that stuff before they put you up there. Google has their own algorithms to tell if you're a scam or you legit. Okay. So here is tracking your backlink clicks. So this is I want to show you on a lot of different things, right? This is a client of mine, right? And I wanted to kind of show you a way you can. So this was on SpyFu, right? SPYFU.com. And you can kind of do like a backlink tracker on here. So I put his website in the search, and it kind of gave me some of his domain authority. So he was on a coastal live, which is in like Norfolk Virginia area. You can see here that it's telling me here how many people click the websites from their article. So you see domain monthly organic clicks. Organic clicks means it was organic. That means they went there on their own through that article, right? It wasn't a paid ad. It wasn't paid sponsor. But what do you notice here? That one particular article had 7.1 million people click, right? Click total. that article, right? Domain authority is 51 only because it's coastal live. It's only shown in the Southern Virginia area, right? And then the keywords about links. So what I'm gonna tell you what mistake was here. He also is listed in the Apple apps directory and also in Google Play. So he's had over 10 million people click his website from Apple, the apps directory, also from the Google directory. But let me tell you about the 7.1 million because I showed him this thing. He wasn't aware because I like to show my clients how well the whole how well it's doing because it may not be your marketing. You might think like, oh God, it's my social media, it's my marketing. It may not be. This is why I told you need to check your analytics. It may not be nothing wrong with you doing. If people are going to your site, you can see here domain monthly organic clicks. He had 7.1 million when after that article went out. So it's telling me people are coming to you. It's not the marketing. It's not the PR. It's not that. Now you got to look at your website. That's why I said make sure your website is ready to receive because that's 7.1 million people that clicked on his website through this backlink. The mistake he made was, y'all about to hear this. He didn't tell me his website was down for maintenance. That was a missed opportunity. He was not aware. This is why I tell you to look at your analytics. When I told him that 7.1, he didn't immediately tell me, oh, the site was down for maintenance for a couple of weeks. Let me tell you how floored I was. I'm like, what? His app is $4.99. If all 7.1 million people were able to go to the app, download the app, and subscribe, even for the first month, this is where he could have made money in the first month because people are going to die off. When you do these membership things, you want to get in the first month because then people die off. But say everybody wanted to be nosy, right? To see what this app is about. If the 7.1 million people would have paid that $4.99, he would be a millionaire right now. And when I showed him this, he really almost beat himself up because he missed out on opportunity. That's why I'm telling you to make sure your house is in order. You do not want this mistake. Even when like the app store, right? So he went to the app store and 10 million people went to the app store, but guess what it said? You got a 2.0 coming soon. He missed out on 10 million people possibly buying this app. I'm not a math person. I mean, I can use a calculator, but what is 10 million times 4.99? Somebody tell me that. And that's what he missed out on. Somebody put in the chat how much money he could have missed out on. I'm curious. Somebody do it for me. 10 million times 4.99. What is that? What is that? Can somebody do that for me really quick? Because I want to see how much he missed out on. $49 million. Am I reading that right?
That's correct.
$49 million. I don't know how. Who's that, Jasmine?
It's Rebecca.
Rebecca, I don't know how I would have recovered from that. How would you have recovered from that?
Yeah, lots of deep breaths and swimming.
Okay, not even say even if like 10 million, they always say 1% you may get out of this. Even at 1%, he could have 4.9. Right? Yeah, I think it's right, right? Missed opportunity. So you see the effect of backlinks can have on you. That's why I said before you do any of this, because you only get one chance to make a good impression. Half of people probably not gonna come back. Life be life and we get busy. I might not remember, right? So even if you do down for maintenance, whatever, always give me your email and we'll let you know when we back up. He didn't have that, right? He didn't have that option. So if you're gonna take your site down, because remember the cycle. So if you know that in a month that you're going to take your site down or you're going to go through a maintenance, whatever, plan in advance because sometimes the life cycle of a backlink could take months, right? It could be, I might not see it all the way. Well, if I'm searching for something and your article come up, then I'm 6, 7 months from now. Even if you take your site down on under construction, always have a box where it says something like, sorry we're down, but if you want to stay in touch or learn when we back up, put your email in here. That way you can still communicate with them in your inbox. But again, this is why I tell you it's very important. Before you do all this, make sure you're ready to receive. Nobody wants to come into your house and you have no food for them and nowhere to sit. We're gonna be ready to go. So keep that in mind. So yes, he missed out on a possibly, I'm not saying all 7 or all 10 million we're going to purchase that. But even if 500 people would have purchased that at 499, he would be in a better place than he was today. So just keep that in mind. That's why I wanted to show you this. Any questions on this so far? Any comments? Someone
Yeah,
said,
that,
"Oh
yeah,
my
you
God,
see.
wow, yeah, he's sick. And he was sick for himself too. I mean, you can't recover. You can't recover from that. You can't recover from that. You cannot recover from that. And the sad thing about it is he didn't tell me. We could have done crisis communication. We could have done something. He didn't tell me the site was down. That was not operable because he decided he wanted to do a 2.0 version in the middle of we doing some visibility stuff, and he didn't tell me. So I don't want to hear those horror stories from you. So make sure before if everything I'm saying sounds so good, but before you jump into it, make sure you have your house in order. So maybe you say, you know what, I'm going to get my house in order, and then come starting January 1st, I'm going to be ready to receive guests. Put a strategy behind with strat. Just make sure you have a strategy behind this as well. Okay, I want to show you something else if I can get my computer to work. So here's coverage book in action, right? This is where you measure your impact, the views outside of that. So this is different ways. So for my clients, when they get in media, I track where they are, whether it's guest plug, whatever. So we're back to Tina again, Miss Home Organizer, been in everywhere, Vogue, HTTV, or whatever. I get now, this is an old screenshot because she's been a lot more, but you can see now that at this point when I did the screenshot, she had 98, she was in 98 media outlets. Probably 20 was Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart loves her. Like she's been in so much, they now come to me asking for her comment, right? She's been in Martha Stewart so much and Home and Gardens. So, but estimated overall, she has gone viral, not through social media, but she's had over 7 million people in just 98 pieces of coverage saw her name, her business name, and her backlink, right? That's the estimated, right? The online readership, the potential she could have had was 954 million if people would have clicked, right? That's the total readership from Martha Stewart, HGTV. She's been on CNN. She's been everywhere. But that was the total reach she could have had. She could have had almost 1 billion people look at her, right? But whatever instance she only had so far, she only had 7 million people have seen her name over and over again. Her average domain authority is 71. She's getting there. She's becoming. She said 210 social shares. That means people, when I told you when people are sharing your stuff or tagging you and stuff, she's had 11,000 people share something that she was in on Facebook, 2,000 on Pinterest, and a total of 13,000 overall social shares. You can lot of us are struggling just to get one person to share our stuff, or even get 20 people to view it. The most we might get is 100 views. This is a way that you can put more eyes on your business, is doing this, what I'm talking about today. And this is why it's so important in here. So you too can have your numbers just like this if you have a strategy behind it. I gave you some of the blueprints to get there, and be consistent in it, and make sure your messaging is right, and make sure you're ready to receive people. Any questions on this? Okay. Mistake number one. I'm going to talk about mistakes real quick. Mistake number one, in reference of time. We passed time. Let me move faster. Mistake number one, paying for fake backlinks. Please do not do that. People try to send you something and tell you, I can get you on this, that, and the other. It's going to help you boost it, whatever. It feels like eating the apple from the evil queen. Looks good, but it's going to hurt later. It's not going to help you. There's people out there that's going to sell you a pile of goods that ain't going to mean nothing. Check to make sure, check the domain authority of that backlink. Some people will try to sell you something and it's their own platform. Just kind of make sure if it's all press ain't good press and all things ain't good. So it's if you somebody selling you a pile of goods and it ain't worth it, it's just gonna sit there. Now you can use it for like, in the store how they have as seen on and boost your credibility that way. But if you're looking to really get in front of your audience, things like that, make sure that you're not paying for fake backlinks because people will do that. Trust and believe. And Google will know. Google will then take you down for that, right? They're on to these people that are trying to sell you a pile of goods and they don't mean anything. So trust me, Google is on to that. More mistake, number one, relying solely on social media. Social media does fade quickly, right? Backlinks are there forever. As long as the World Wide Web is up, it'll stay there forever, right? Acquiring low quality backlinks, more like spammy sites, whatever. You could kind of smell those a mile away, right? And then those are ones usually, I'm just gonna be really honest, you might get emails from foreign entities, somebody in Pakistan. I get those all the time. Those are not going to be quality inks. Those are people who are a little scam, irrelevant, and they could really actually harm you because Google will then equate you to them. So now Google might think you scam me too, and it may hurt your online reputation, especially when it comes with Google. Neglecting backlink monitoring. I showed you how to monitor your backlinks without checking your current back. Make sure it's also to make sure your website link is good, right? Make sure it's not broken. Make sure there's things in it. Make sure that you don't have no threat warning on your website. I've seen that a lot of times too. You don't have your SSL good things like that. That can happen as well. Strategic backlink opportunities, failing to leverage media features, directories, partnerships, all that. So these are the top 4 that I've seen. There's probably 100, but I wanted to just give you just a little bit on it. How to protect your reputation, right? Keep your profiles updated, keep your name consistent, keep your stories fresh, keep sharing your wins, right? Think of this as keeping your glass slipper polished. We keep with the Disney magic theme. Think about it like that. So make sure you have everything in order. If something's outdated, check. If you change your name, you may have to go back into the directories that you are and ask. Now you cannot do a retraction on an article unless they made the mistake. Oh, you might have spelled my name wrong. Please, yeah, keep your name. Because I've seen that too with Tina. They want to spell like Elvis Presley, and that's not how she spelled her name. It's Priestley, not Presley. And so one person in Homes and Garden, they spelled her name wrong. And I politely went and told the reporter they fixed it. So you want to make sure that when people are reporting and then you test out your backlinks, you could see it missing because they could have the wrong URL as well. Backlinks and your digital identity. Backlinks shape how people see you. Remember this. They help you look real. They help you look trusted. They help you look ready for the spotlight. You become the hero of your own Pixar movie. Basically in a nutshell. Actions to take today. Claim your top directories. Ensure your business listed where it counts. Pitch one podcast. Respond to quoted requests. Go sign up for a free quoted account today. And at least be able to do 3 this month for free, right? Share one win, right? And then tag that win or how come. Oh, another mistake I make too is, let me just say this. Let me go back. When you do get featured on, say, like Martha Stewart or Forbes or CNN, the biggest mistake I see too is people they don't leverage that or monetize it enough. So usually if you're in one of their articles, they're going to post it on their social media. And a lot of them, I see the biggest mistake. You don't go and respond. So like if you're in an article on Christmas tree lighting and Martha Stewart puts it on her Facebook page, you should immediately under that post say, thank you for having me in this article. What is that? That's a signal trust. What that's telling is that her 6 million, because Martha still got 6 million followers on her Facebook page, they're going to see that comment and be like, oh, Jasmine was in this article. Oh, I can just now I'm gonna go follow Jasmine. Now, because the backlinks are only going to give you the website, but then I'm gonna comment under there, be like, thank you for allowing me to be in this article. It was a pleasure. I love what I do. Blah 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 blah. And then people can see that the first 6 million people can see your post, and then also under that article, people make comments like, "Oh, I never knew that you can do this to untangle lights. I'm gonna try this tomorrow." Biggest mistake, not responding to those comments. Glad you like this. Glad you like what I said in this article. You know what? Won't you follow me for more? I give other good stuff, right? I give good stuff. So maybe you want to follow me on my social medias. So that's a big mistake that I see people do, is not when somebody shares your stuff or they post you, you don't comment under that post. Because then they basically they're introducing you to their audience and you're not taking advantage of that. So small actions could be really big magic if you do that, right? Final reminder, your name is a brand, right? Your name is a brand. And even though it's your name out there, your name is going to lead to your business, right? People buy from who they like. They want to see the person, they want to see the human behind the brand. They want to see the person behind the brand. They want to see you. I don't care how quirky you are, what kind of personality you have. You'll notice for me, I'm a movie person. I always quote movies and I bring that into everything I do. So just keep that in mind, right? So your name is your brand, your backlinks are your proof, and every link is another firework over the castle. So, in a Disney, and you're in Disney the last day and you did the parade, they got the whole thing. That's it. Voila, you're there. So I want to say thank you for joining. You have the tools. I don't know what happened right here. You have the tools. You have the map. You have the Let's Build Your Visibility Kingdom Magic right now, right? But right now your visibility journey starts now. Set your goals. Use your tools. Track your progress. Remember these key truths. Quality backlinks are better than quantity back. So quality are better than quantity. Your reputation is built one link at a time. Visibility is not magic, it's strategy. And so I want you to connect with me, right? So I do have a YouTube channel that I just started where I am doing tutorials on all this. Please go over there and follow. I'm going to be doing a lot more tutorials on how to set up quoted, how to set up payroll. So I'm going to be doing these free tutorials over on YouTube if you want to get more on that. If you click this QR code, it's going to take you right to my YouTube channel. So you can start learning from me on how to do the stuff yourself. If you want to DIY yourself, I posted one video already on there. Every week is going to be a different video. I'm going to be doing more and more tutorials on YouTube. So hopefully you will get the QR code, go right to YouTube, subscribe so you don't miss any further extension of this training. And that's kind of all I have. If you want, Jasmine or Rebecca want to lead into how people can contact you, this is all I had, and thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Stephanie, for keeping this slide up. We so appreciate,
Mhm.
can you put that
Oh,
last
sorry.
slide back up
Okay,
again,
hold on.
please?
Sorry, I thought I hit by accident. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. I thank you. Look, huge applause to Stephanie. I can tell people yep, that we got a comment there already. She's one of the couple participants. Thank you. Very helpful, great information, right? She's
Mhm,
fantastic.
mhm,
So huge applause to Stephanie or for Stephanie. We thank
mhm,
you for your time
mhm,
and honesty, right? There's
mhm,
nothing like she gave real examples, right, everyone, and things that you can apply right away. But as she said, you need to make sure you're ready, make
mhm,
sure your website is ready. And to that point, though, we also, in addition to Stephanie sharing how you can connect with the Elevate Visibility group, you see on this slide, but also if you haven't already signed up to be a client with the Illinois SBDC at Bill Bronzeville or at Greater Englewood, there's contact information for you to be able to do that. So you can have one-on-one sessions to discuss more details about your business And we can refer you to people like wonderful professional service providers like Stephanie. You're fortunate to participate in today's training, but we certainly, each of our centers also can talk to you one-on-one about professional service providers that can help you and your business needs. And please note that you will receive a recording, right, of today's training. You'll also get a request to complete a survey. We'd love to get your feedback because it helps us to provide you with the best training that will help you to excel in business. So there's space on that survey to share your recommendations for future training. And your attention and time is so appreciated today. Continue to have a fantastic day and weekend ahead. Many thanks again to you, Stephanie,
Thank
and
you.
take care, everyone.
All right, thank you so much.